Mayhem Monday. As you see here, we're going to pick the topic on air for y'all, and we'll be right back.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
All right, so that was a horrible intro. I didn't really know what to say at the beginning. I started to talk, and then I was like, yeah, nothing seems to be happening. Oh, Jeff is victorious this morning. Jeff, how are you, brother? So Jeff's going to be joining y'all tomorrow. Good morning, Lisa. Jeff's going to be joining y'all tomorrow. I've got an appointment, so Jeff's going to jump in for me for my seat. As you can see, Jeff, I am not driving. See, hands here. I'm not driving. My lovely wife is driving. Everybody say hi to my wife. My lovely wife is driving, and we are on our way into the city today, but we're going to do a little Mayhem Monday from you on the road, y'all. So just like DJ, lots of nice sunshine and air, and I can replicate at home, I got to tell you, brother.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Better than standing in a room. Yeah. You get the sunlight.
You know, the only thing is you're staring at the camera and you got all these things happening around you. I can feel like you start
I know what you're talking about.
I know. All right. Are you ready, brother?
Let's do it.
All right.
Stop right there. Tell me it's a good one. Tell me we got a good one.
Oh, this is actually a really good one. So it's lessons I've learned on my journey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is there a delay in you hearing me?
No, it's coming through pretty good, actually.
Okay.
Am I delaying?
All right. No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Your picture actually got better too, so you're in a better area.
Yeah. We're going into the city, so all your cell bars work in the city. You know what I mean? Good morning, Antoine.
Morning,
okay,
Antoine.
So lessons I've learned on my journey, DJ. So what I've got down here is lessons in failure, lessons in success, conflicts with core values. How can someone learn about me? Optimizing stuff, taking part in longer conversations, all that kind of stuff. So lessons that I've learned on my journey. So what are some lessons you've learned on your journey so far in logistics, brother? And kind of what, and in this, it kind of goes along a little bit with war stories, but let's see if we can take a different angle here.
It does. Yeah, no, I think you said conflicts with core values. Jeff says, I'm happy you're not driving. Thank you, Mrs. Deegan. Yes, I agree, Jeff.
So what I found, like one of the big things when it comes to lessons on my journey, right, is, we get into this industry, right? And obviously the mission is to make money. The mission, we come in, we see all these people making this amazing amount of money. And it's like, really, you don't need like an MBA, or you don't need to go to school to be a doctor or anything. And I found very early in my career, well, probably not even just early, but probably until the last 10 years of my career, I would break core values to do business. And what I mean by that is not me breaking the law. It's just, you don't like this person. Like I'm sure I told you guys about a customer of mine in Jersey. He was the most vulgar, ignorant person on the planet. And he had a lot of business. And I did business with him, and I did the whole, Like, I mean, even to the point where he was so vulgar, he got hammered at when I was in Jersey. We were at a golf tournament in Jersey, and he got so drunk, and he was so vulgar to everybody in the restaurant. When he left the restaurant at the hotel, and he says, I'll go home, I'll pick you up in the morning. I said, well, you should probably take a cab. I'll park your car, give you your keys. I parked his car in a handicap spot just because I was so pissed off at what he did. And he had a ticket in the morning, right? So, and I mean, yeah, bad on me. I get it for sure. But I was just so angry because it was like you are who you associate with, right, DJ? Yeah. And we tell our kids that and everything. And it was one of these things where nowadays I would never do business with the guy. But I broke some of my core values for money. That makes sense, right?
I know. I'm so glad you shared that, because that's where I was going with it. And again, I think we have that same journey. you realized it a lot earlier in your journey. I had to come to it a little bit later, but we both seen the same path of that evil again. So it wasn't in logistics. It was my transformation out of logistics for a little bit, but I had that same guy that was just like, why am I doing this? Like it was almost like the destruction of my soul was happening as I'm working there. Like, he is just so like terrible to these people. The things that he's saying, I know I'm making so much money, but this does not make any sense. Why am I doing this? And it was finally like, okay, I'm literally driving myself, almost destroying myself for this. No, I can't do it anymore. And that
doesn't make sense.
No.
And there's a fine line. I don't even know if it's fine, but there's a line. So I had a customer named Hugo, and this guy from the outside, you'd think this guy was a nightmare. Like, I remember there was one time, what was it, like 3:30 in the morning or something, calling the house going, "Where's Dan?" And my wife's like, "Excuse me, this is our home." And he's like, "I need to talk to him right now." And it's like, and he was very demanding. Right? Very demanding. But you just say, "I need this to get the job done." Do it. Where he was demanding was when you said A, B, C, and D, and you try to hit him with E, F, and G.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't work for him. It didn't. You said A, B, C, and D. It's A, B, C, and D. And that was the one thing about Hugo. Great man, awesome guy, but in business, he had very demanding customers that demanded things, and that was the difference. It wasn't just he wasn't an asshole. He just needed things done in a specific way because he had an image, ability, and brand that he was living up to with his brand of his company, Elite Link, right? So he was different, but Steve was just like a dick, right? And it was one of these things where it was like, like, you don't need to be this way in business in order to get what you want. I don't know if you've ever, I mean, you said you did, but Jeff says here, he says,
I can read it if you'd like.
That you don't know at all. This is a bad thing. I have so many. Go ahead.
I was going to, this is not a bad thing. I have so many mentors and leaders to thank, to be a strong listener and small talker. Question. As there are no stupid questions, just ask away. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%. You know, it's go DJ.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I wasn't going to say anything, actually. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's like, these are kind of some of the lessons you learn when you break your core values. Now, I don't know about you, but probably the first 6 years of my business, I never really had core values. Anyone that had business, I was like, I'm in, I'll take it. Like, I didn't have, in essence, those core values, right? And then you learn these lessons in failure, right? And so a big lesson that I learned in failure was thinking that we can change the way somebody does business, right? So and obviously the most perfect example is, you know what, I send an email out to 50 different people or 25 different people. Whoever has the best rate gets the freight. And you're like, okay, I'll take it. I'll go in there, right? You know exactly where I'm going with this, DJ.
Yeah.
And thinking to yourself, well, I'll show them some serious value, and I'll show them how I can just be above and beyond anyone else they're dealing with, and they're going to give me business. And they do. And then 2-3 months down the road, all of a sudden the tap shuts off, and you call and you're like, well, why? And then, well, somebody had a better price. Like, but I've been giving you all this value, right? The lesson in failure from the beginning, like Jeff said, to go questions like, if I do this, will you be able to do that? If I do this, will you be able to do that? And asking those questions in right up front and saying, if I show you extreme value above and beyond what you're getting right now, and I'm not just talking about, I'm going to deliver, pick up and deliver on time. I mean, like, really, really show you something. Will these lanes come off of that market? And that for me was a big lesson in failure, because I don't know how many times, I mean, gosh, I'd actually love to go back one day and just sit there and recant all the times that I started dealing with those types of people. You spend so much time and energy developing that business, thinking this is something that's long term, and it turns into like a 3-month venture. that is just a
Yes.
complete gong show nightmare, right?
Yes. Another lesson in failure I will give everybody is moving stuff. So going above and beyond. I think there becomes, and I learned this again the hard way. So I'll give this lesson to everybody of this. But had a customer down. Totally out of the norm of moving what I was moving for them. So I was just moving frozen foods for them, basically, prior to taking on this big project of moving this huge machinery that they were bringing in from California. I had never handled anything like that. And I took that on thinking, well, this customer, I don't want them to go somewhere else. I don't want something else to happen. So I'm going to try to do this. Bad decision. Yeah, it was a nightmare from the start. But yeah, ended up very bad. So just staying in your lane and really even my lesson for that was really connecting with people who then other either brokers or carriers who did that and handing that off a little bit easier was more.
Well, you mentioned something really key there, staying in your lane,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like so a lesson in failure would be taking on things you have no idea how they operate, and something goes wrong and you actually destroy your image, credibility, and brand with that client, right?
And that's exactly what happened. So yes, that's
yeah. Lisa says, been there, Dan. So many times trying to change the shipper's ways, then the opportunity cost, you miss out on other opportunities for meeting others who do value what you do. And I think that's probably the biggest lesson inside of trying to alter and shift and change the way somebody does business, is that you miss out on so many opportunities. Like, and you got to, you think about it, right? These customers that we do this with, and these customers that we get involved with like this, they consume so much of our time that we could be spending on other customers that actually honor our position in their market. Yeah. And again, our position in their market, I think we talked about it with, I think we mentioned it last week, and I don't know if it was with Brian Byro or not, DJ, but might have been on Wins and Lessons, where like, without us, people don't get product to market. Like, without logistics, there is no product to market. So we are like a really important piece of the supply chain, obviously.
Yes.
But we don't necessarily get treated like that. Or shippers, and we've seen it all over. I mean, there was that forget who posted it, but it was like, you'll be here if you have to wait 5 to 9 hours. So what, you have to wait 5 to 9 hours on the door for drivers to read. And I'm like, okay, well, I get it.
I hope we were
Listen, everybody is short employees, right? Everybody's screaming the same song. But I mean, come on. If somebody said to you, DJ, you got to come to work for 8 hours, but I'm going to pay you for 4.
Yeah, nobody's doing that. I mean, we're asking insane things of carriers and drivers when you're doing those. Yeah.
But it's interesting because I like that what Lisa said, the lost opportunity cost. Like, for all of you watching and listening that don't really, I'm going to say, pay attention to opportunity costs, I think is probably the best way to say it. Really pay attention to opportunity costs and where you spend your time. Because if you spend your time on an opportunity and you lose a bigger opportunity for that you're trying to change the one client and it doesn't work. And then you go out and all of a sudden now all these other 2, 3, 4 opportunities you had are completely gone because you didn't put enough time in. And I think that's a big balancing act for high performing salespeople, right? It's a big balancing act for salespeople getting into this industry, for salespeople that are just trying to put numbers on the board because people are, breathing down their throat, especially in today's day. The sale today is way harder than it's ever been, right? Yeah. Way harder. There's so many more walls up. There's so many more, like, everybody's been through the gamut of all the issues and BS that logistics companies put people through. Don't get me wrong. It's a two-way street, DJ. But, speaking of streets, I think that is a good segue. Okay,
You're reading my mind, Dano.
Better because were you just typing to me that you should do?
I literally was just gonna say dat lane of the day. Yeah,
yeah. So you guys have to give me a little leeway here today, because not only am I staring at the camera, now I got to try and read on the road, and I get my brain goes a little foggy. So today is dry van from Seattle to Los Angeles, California. Week over week, it's 75 cents per mile with fuel $1.49. The average across is $2.26 cents a mile. Wow, that's really cheap. Eh? It's the first lane we've ever seen under $1. That's crazy. And then it's actually year over year, it's down 30 cents a mile.
30 cents.
From the December peak in Asia imports and floods that ravaged Pacific Northwest British Columbia, dry van spot rates, including fuel from Seattle to Los Angeles, have dropped $1.92 a mile to 75 cents a mile this week. That's a decrease of 60% in southbound rates, highlighting how strong backhaul market Seattle is and how much available capacity there is in the market. $1.02 per mile diesel.
Holy
Since
moly.
lane of the day has been around. Haven't seen it in a while. Wow. That's crazy. That's insane. So that was that lane of the day, everybody.
That lane of the day, y'all. Man, I'm shocked by that one.
Lesson. Yeah, that's crazy. So lessons in success. You know, DJ, that one I think is one most of us don't really. It's like, oh my gosh, it worked. It's like, this is great. It's amazing. And we don't stop and say, well, why? Why did it work?
Yeah.
What was the core pillar? What was the tip in the teeter top? You know, what was the nucleus of why it worked? And then consistently kind of, you know, going through that motion again. Instead, we're like, oh, that worked. Look at that, shiny. And we go on to something else. And, you know,
Yep.
then we like, okay, well, let's try this, and let's try that, and let's try this. And
Oh yeah.
you know, the lessons in success, I think, are really important because it helps us see that brighter picture. But we tend not. And we dissect failure, right? I got a little sign saying that we're having connection issues. You okay there?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm good here. I think we lost you for a second there. I think we're good though.
Yeah, I feel like there was a gap in the audio there, but that's okay. So it's like, yeah, you dissect your failures and you dissect and say to yourself, okay, well, you know, this person's really good at that, so I'm no good at it. But that person might have been doing it for the last 10 years. You've been doing it for 2 months. So they're going to be better at it, right? All of these things that we do, we tend to position it. And I think we misposition most, where we, you know, somebody that might have it as a career, right? Like I know when I first got in sales, I always looked at the top salesman. I was like, yeah, but he closes all his business. Well, he's been in the business for 8 years. I'm 3 months in the business. Of course he's closing more business, Dan. Why would you compare yourself? Why wouldn't you compare yourself with one of the other guys you got into the industry with at 3 months? But we don't.
Yes.
Right? I see you laughing over there. You know.
Never. Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, that was one of my biggest faults, and then really it was the combination of that with just what I thought, or what my vision of success was, or what I was chasing. I think the lessons from success, at least for me, that I've really took, that really, I guess, really changed me to who I feel like I am today is the success of one. Jim Carrey had a great, I think it was Jim Carrey, said something like, I want everybody to get all of the stuff, everything they've ever wanted, so they can realize that that's not it. And I think I think that's a lot of, or at least for me, that's what I was chasing for the longest time was things, stuff. Well, the best salesperson has the night. They have these toys and these cars and this and this that, and that's what I thought that I actually wanted. I don't want any of that. I don't even care about that. But it was getting that I had to figure that out. But then I think the other thing about really the
Yep.
key to what we learn in success is celebrate the little things. I think we forget when we reach those little landmarks to just stop and, like you're saying, look back and think of, well, what worked? Oh wow. Number and just the little celebrations, I think we take those for granted. Especially high achievers. We're just ready to the next thing. And that was me. I was never
Yeah.
satisfied. It was okay. That worked. Okay, let's try this now and let's keep going and it was just not slowing down to celebrate.
Yep. Yeah, I still have that problem, brother. To be
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
one to tell you, if you finish one thing and it's okay, what's like, well, stop and enjoy it for a second, and
yeah,
like like celebrate. Like, wow, this is and it's just like no, you just like, keep over and over again. It's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, it's and
yes.
DJ, it's interesting that you said that because part of if you look at the definition of success, right?
Mhm.
How many people have really sat down to define their version of what that means,
I love that
right? And
yes, I agree.
yeah, and it's very often like I think a lot of us we kind of want a lot of the same thing. And Brendan Burchard wrote the Motivation Manifesto, one of the greatest books that's ever been written. And he says,
Yes.
we all want that personal freedom, and not freedom from responsibility, but that personal freedom. You want to tomorrow. You want to tomorrow you decide you want to go on vacation. Next week you want to go. Tomorrow you decide that what, I'm just going to take 2 days off and just sleep and watch a series on Netflix, right? That's
Yeah,
kind of free to your business,
yeah,
freedom from being tied to this and that.
yeah.
But oftentimes, and I mean, gosh, probably the first 10 years of my career, it was like I'd look out my window, or the window in the development center. I'd look out the window and I'd see all these Mercedes and BMW M series, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I want. Thinking a vehicle makes you successful, but it's the perception other people have of that vehicle that gives you that feel, right? So it was like, well, no,
Yes.
I don't really want that. And then I remember because it was Josh Hines, and I actually got a hold of Josh 2 weeks ago. We're going to have him on the show probably in August.
Yeah.
Josh Hines has getmotivation.com.
Mhm.
And in his book, Think Big, he talks about the pills, whatever your mind can believe and conceive, it can. And he talks about, Think and Grow Rich and all this. And you destroy, or I'm a blasphemy of contradicting Napoleon Hill. But he says the biggest thing is most people are believing and trying to conceive somebody else's dream, not theirs.
Mhm.
And you see this a lot with parents that are doctors and their kids become doctors. Like, did you want to be a doctor? It's like, hell no, I wanted to be a professional video gamer. But there's no way I can be a professional video gamer in a house full of doctors. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, and there's a million different examples of it,
Oh, of
right? But
course. Yeah.
it's that definition, and I've also found, and tell me if this is your perspective as well.
Yeah.
Once you find what, or you realize what your success is, what your greatness is, that's the reason I created the course, Your 4 Pillars of Personal Greatness,
Yeah.
because it's designing what greatness means to you. Not even success, just greatness.
Yeah.
When you realize what that is, you put yourself on one of those escalators at the airport where they're just like, people are walking beside it and you're on it, and you're walking, but you're going like 4 times faster than everyone else because beneath you is walking as well. When you figure out what success means to you and then you adopt the principles and philosophies to get you there, you excel so fast. Crazy, crazy.
I agree. I agree 1,000,000%. I agree. Yeah, 1,000,000,000%. It's once you are aligned with what you truly want, That's when it doesn't feel like work. Those are the people who say it doesn't feel like work anymore. Those are the people who say they wait for Monday. I mean, Jeff's one of those guys. Jeff loves what he does. I know he was waiting for Monday. I know he was waiting to get up and do this. You can tell that, and when you have that,
well, every day it's like
exactly.
Jeff's the only one I
already,
know that wishes away the weekend.
Yeah, but again, you know that they are aligned and they are ready. There's nothing, like you're saying, there's nothing that is going to stop it. It just, you feel like you're on that escalator, just on cruise control. And yeah, you don't feel like, again, but it's that, look, that shiny thing over here. Oh, look, next I want to try this. You don't have that anymore. It's you feel like you're a horse with blinders on. That's the finish line, and you're going straight to it, and nothing will
you're
stop
done
you.
in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of stopping, we're coming down the Gardner Expressway here, and there's a truck in front of us, a straight truck, and I swear one of this guy's on his right side, the brakes locked up because he's smoking like a bandit up there. Like I'm expecting tire to start flying any second.
So popping.
Yeah, stay back, buddy. Oh, you should see the smoke coming out of it. It's crazy. And I think it's every time he hits the brake, I think it locks one of his discs or something. But all right, DJ. So we're about to hit the city here, which means that we're going to be in congestion and stuff. So
I'll take us out because we're at 26 anyways. Lisa has a few great things she put up there, though. Doesn't feel like work.
Doesn't feel like work, 100%. And it's the freedom to create and design. Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's, creating the life you want, designing the life you want.
I feel like that's a zone. Would you agree, Dan? Put that 100%. Back up there too with Lisa. The freedom to create and design. When you feel like you're there, like you're aligned with what you're doing, and now you feel like you're in this creation mode, like she's talking about. You're there. You're just keep going.
And DJ, here's the thing: you can always be in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
Like. Mm-hmm. If I were to wake up tomorrow and lose everything, all my contacts, everything, have a phone and a laptop, I would create and design the freedom I want first thing. And I would not deal with a customer, regardless of numbers, unless they were totally aligned. And you can do that from day one getting in the industry. Is it going to take longer to find loads and find a customer? Sure.
Of course.
But what would you rather do? Work for 3 months to find somebody to deal with them for a month, or work for 5 months and find somebody to deal with them for 10 years?
Yep.
Right?
If you wouldn't do business with
Christine just said short-term pain, long-term gain. 100%.
Yeah, if you wouldn't do business with a man for 10 years, don't do business with them for a day. That's literally
exactly.
That's all.
Exactly. You're awesome, baby.
You are awesome.
But DJ says you're awesome, Christine.
I did.
Awesome, sister.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Obviously, we got Dan on the road. Shout out to everybody for making this Monday. Listen, start this week great. Go for it. Do everything. Start getting in that freedom to create and design mode and get there. But this week's going to be fun, y'all. Tuesday, like Dan mentioned, we do have Jeff filling in for Dan. He will be missing, but we do have a guest as well for Tuesday, for tomorrow. Triple D Day, don't miss it. I think it's going to be a fun one this week. So, but again,
I'm dying to dig into that whole Seattle thing.
I know.
When have you heard of lanes being under $1 in the last decade? Never, never. Crazy.
It's going to be insane. It's good. So hold on, everybody. Going to be a fun week. Sales Chatter Live, 9 a.m. till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Start your day right with us. Again,
and I think we got DJ. We got Steve Rizzo on Thursday, right? Talking about conversations with Bob. I think
we do.
Yeah, I think Steve's coming back to talk about his new book. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's gonna be a good week. It's
gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun week, y'all. So don't miss out. Again, all right. I got an Albert Einstein. I think I did that last week too. I'm really on Albert for some reason this week. So Albert Einstein quote to take us out, y'all. So also shout out to American Logistics, Centurion Trucking, making this possible. Daman, you guys over there, people over profits. Albert Einstein, the leader is one who out of the clutter brings simplicity, out of discord, harmony, and out of difficult, opportunity. Find the opportunities this week, guys. They're there.
DJ's wife says, love seeing your beautiful wife versus me driving with my hand. Love to both. DJ was on the road last week and Maggie was sticking her hand in saying, hello.
Yeah, we have to give a hand in too.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. We will enjoy your day tomorrow. Go out there, do the best, and, really do more, be more, achieve more. And you guys are going to rock it tomorrow, DJ. All good. Take care.
Bye, y'all.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American Logistics or Centurion Trucking and start designing your career today.